And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Here's Parker.
And, you know, the Spurs decided prior to the last season that their best chance to be successful was to go up tempo. They knew they didn't have the inside play that they did in past years, so they played a very fast pace and used their three-point shooting to their advantage.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. On the court right now for the Spurs, we've got Boris Diaw. Tony Parker is out there with Green. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the center position. Now the feed to Durant. Pass to Perkins. Duncan is there. Here's Durant. Westbrook dishes to Cephalosha. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Cephalosha's got 8 points. Spurs trail by 13. We talk about the Spurs game planning for the Lakers, Steve. I guess you want to spread the floor against that big front line of Los Angeles, and of course a major quickness advantage at the point guard for San Antonio.
Well, you try to play to your strengths, Kevin, and basically Tony Parker looked to attack in transition. I mean, even when the numbers were against him, he's so good at putting defenses on their heels. The other players ran to the three-point line, and if Parker got bottled up, he had a kick out. If the ball wasn't stopped, he slithered his way to the basket.
Nick Collison's checked in for the Thunder.
Leonard, the sophomore out of San Diego State, Kevin, was a huge part of why the Aztecs were able to grab a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament last year.
Guarded now by Durant. Now here's Leonard, defended by Durant. Diaw working against Collison. Releases. It's blocked. The Thunder leading by 10. Oh, and a nice defensive play to interrupt the alley-oop. The 10-footer, and Parker with the basket on the assist from Leonard. 8 points for Parker. Now the Thunder with it. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. Park getting back to Leonard for a second. Just goes to show you, Steve, the impact he had on the floor.
Well, he was a huge key for San Diego State in what was basically the best season in school history. They got that 2 seed. They advanced to the regional semis where they lost to the eventual national champion UConn Huskies. So a great year for Leonard and a great year for the Aztecs.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder.
You know, fellas, this Oklahoma City team is built the right way. I mean, been done with patience through the draft. I mean, you've got to have some good fortune there when you're talking about the draft. The money's been spent wisely, and now I think they're starting to approach the finished product, a team capable of winning NBA titles for years to come. Certainly they'll be contending for them, you would think.
Sure. Looking at who's out there now for the Thunder. Kendrick Perkins, he's checked in for Ibaka. And it's Harden in for Thabo Cephalosha. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs. Jackson comes in for Leonard. On offense, here are the Spurs. Good momentum, 8 straight points.
Now they're on a hot streak now. They can't miss and really trying to cut into this lead.
Well, it's been a fantastic comeback effort, guys, and they've actually shot their way back into this one.
And for the Thunder, they've been a team that has preached defense first. And with the addition of Kendrick Perkins, that certainly adds now to a big athletic and physical, tough team up front. And really from top to bottom, Steve.
Yeah, and they've got a nice bench, too, Kevin. There's not a whole lot lacking on this roster. But what they have to do is improve from within. Last year, I thought they were exposed in the playoffs. They didn't get great shots. They didn't look fluid offensively. Those are areas that they can improve upon.
Durant knocks it loose.
You know, with the way they've dominated the glass so far,
whoa! Here's another look with the Sprite Slam King.
There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that throwdown.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
Serious degree of difficulty on that one.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
One of the things the Thunder can definitely be encouraged by from last season was the growth of James Harden. I mean, started off the season slow. By the playoffs, he probably was their 3rd best player.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Ano Ginobili's checked in for Green. And Gary Neal subbed in for Tony Parker.
I think he was surprised to see the pass coming his way, and he reacted a little late.
Here's Westbrook. A minute 42 left in the third quarter.
Going back to James Harden, he's able to create his own shot. And I think what happened with Harden was after Jeff Green was traded to Boston, it opened up more of an offensive responsibility for him, and he took advantage. He really became kind of the pressure release, the third option after Durant and Westbrook. And I think he's poised to become a very good player in this league.
And Neal kicks to Diaw. Jackson puts up a three. Good, and it's Diaw with the assist that time. Jackson's got 5 points in the quarter.
Boy, they've done a nice job here in the second half, making the defense pay from outside.
Anytime you can shoot the three ball the way they are in this half, you are never that far out of the game. You always have life.
Here's Ginobili. 6 points for him. Stolen by Harden. It's 2-on-1. Oh, yeah! Hammers the alley-oop through.
Boy, that is an alley-oop of the highest order on the front and back end.
Well, play they've been working on, I'm sure.
That's got to be the case because that was impeccable timing.
Jackson against Durant. Top of the key. Again, the miss by Jackson.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
Sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way.
Here's Neal. As their comeback bid had better get started.
I think there's still enough time for him here, Kevin. I think there's a good chance they can make it happen.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a pretty big run. They're going to have to be almost perfect to get this one done.
Or if the defender...
Boy, are they on a tear.
You know what, Stephen? Offensively, you sometimes don't know how or why it happens, but you just ride the wave as long as it's flowing.
Harden against Ginobili. And that's not going to go. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. What a game we're seeing from Kevin Durant.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports.